because I was raised in a working class environment, in a way, that's who he talks to. He communicates very differently. So I began to shift and began actually to be open to the idea that maybe he could, represent Americans. And then I think you have to put it in context. I mean, when I wrote my book on Martin Luther, most people would think Luther's a pretty good guy. Luther was a maniac. The way that he communicated, he makes Trump look like Mike Pence. He was a just crazy way that he communicated, but he connected with the working class. He connected with the people who felt disenfranchised in a way that had never happened before, and it caused a revolution. I refer to it as the Protestant Reformation. But I think when you see Trump in that context, things change. The question is, can we see him in that context? I also think that the viciousness on the left toward him pushed me toward him. I have never in my life seen anything. When you take a hot mic moment from 15 years ago and you keep it, you're a network, supposedly a news network, and you keep it until the last second in October and you air it as though he just said it. I think, who among us has not said horrifying things that if they were suddenly presented as though that's our point of view when it was something we never meant for anybody to hear except who we're with, and even then maybe we regretted it. So that level of viciousness blew my mind and made me think, perhaps I am missing something here, and perhaps God chose Trump to shame the church. The church had not been living out its faith in a way that was changing the world, that was sacrificial, as Keller put it, and that God, as he often does, reaches outside the camp to someone that will make our heads explode and chooses him to shame us, to fight because we declined to fight. Bonhoeffer went through the same thing. The church in Germany, they would not fight against Hitler. They were not willing to fight. They said, we just want to preach the gospel. We want to have a clean witness for the gospel. And because of that, because they didn't want to get their hands dirty, because they were obsessed with their own piety and justifying themselves before God, they refused to get down and dirty and fight the enemy, who is Satan, in the form of Hitler and the Nazis. And Bonhoeffer was saying, you don't understand. You must see this differently. It's not about your holiness. Your witness has failed. The church's witness has failed. We now need to stand up and be counted. So, that's the beginning of what I would say.
Yeah, and we'll come back because I want you to describe more